I knew something was wrong the moment I saw her laugh. Not the usual laugh that reached her eyes. This one was louder, freer, and it wasn't for me. The music thumped through the living room, low lights flickering over wine glasses and half-empty bottles. Claire had organized another of her small get-togethers. Though there were already 15 people in our house, I lingered near the kitchen, pretending to scroll through my phone while watching her across the room. She was standing too close to him. That guy, Ethan, her coworker from the marketing firm. I'd met him once before. The kind of man who wore confidence like cologne. He was leaning in, saying something into her ear, and she tilted her head back and laughed like it was the funniest thing in the world. That sound used to be mine. I approached her, trying to stay calm. "Claire, can I talk to you for a second?" Her smile faltered. "Now?" "Yeah, just for a minute." She sighed, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "Tom, you're kind of ruining the vibe right now. Can we not do this?" Ruining the vibe. That hit harder than it should have. I swallowed the knot in my throat. "You've been with him all night." She rolled her eyes. "He's my friend. Stop making everything weird." "Claire." I said stop. Her voice cut through the noise, and suddenly a few people nearby turned to look. "God, you always do this. Can't you just relax for once?" Something inside me cracked. I stared at her, really stared. The woman I'd loved for 10 years, married for 6, who used to dance barefoot in our kitchen at midnight, now looked at me like I was an inconvenience. "Enjoy your vibe," I said quietly. And then I walked out. The cold night air hit me like a slap. I didn't even grab my coat. I just walked, past the driveway, down the quiet street, away from the music and laughter spilling from our windows. My breath fogged in the November air. Every step echoed with anger and disbelief. I ended up sitting in my car, parked around the corner. I couldn't go home, not yet. I just sat there with the engine off, watching as people came and went from the party. At one point I saw Ethan step outside to smoke. Claire followed him a few minutes later. They talked for a while. Then she laughed again. He touched her arm. That was enough. I drove. Not far, just aimlessly. Past darkened shops, past the park where we used to walk our dog, past the restaurant where we'd had our first date. Memories kept stabbing through me, sharp and relentless. I finally stopped at a 24-hour diner. Ordered coffee I didn't drink. Watched the clock crawl past midnight, then 1, then 2. I must have sat there for hours, lost in a fog of what-ifs and maybes. At 3:47 a.m., my phone buzzed for the first time. Claire. Then again. And again. By the time I looked, there were already 12 missed calls. I didn't answer. At 7 a.m. I finally drove home. The street was quiet, the sky still gray. I parked out front and just sat there staring at the house. The music was gone. The windows dark. When I stepped inside, the living room was a mess, wine glasses everywhere, half-eaten snacks, confetti on the rug. And her, Claire, curled up on the couch, eyes red, phone clutched in her hand. She looked up when she heard the door. "Tom." Her voice cracked. I didn't say anything. "Where were you?" I was so worried. "Were you?" I asked flatly. Because last I checked, I was ruining the vibe. Her lips trembled. "I didn't mean that. I was just angry, embarrassed. You always get so suspicious." "Suspicious?" I stepped closer. "Claire, I watched you all night with him. You think I didn't see it?" "Nothing happened," she said quickly. Too quickly. "Then why 50 missed calls?" I asked, showing her my phone. She hesitated. "Because I knew you'd get the wrong idea." "Did I?" She opened her mouth, then shut it again. Tears welled in her eyes. "I made a mistake, okay? I shouldn't have let him get so close." But it wasn't. Her phone buzzed on the couch between us. A new message. From Ethan. I didn't even mean to look, but the preview flashed before she could snatch it away. "Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about it." The room went silent. My pulse roared in my ears. "Tom, please, it's not what you think." I laughed. A sound that didn't feel like mine. "Not what I think. You said nothing happened." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I swear I didn't plan it. We'd been drinking, everyone had gone home, and one thing just..." "Stop." My voice came out hoarse. "Don't. Just stop." I turned away, gripping the edge of the table until my knuckles went white. My mind was spinning. trying to piece together the fragments of a night I hadn't witnessed but could now picture far too clearly. The laughter, the whispers, the touch on her arm, the silence after I left. All the signs I'd ignored because love makes you blind to the things that should make you run. She followed me into the kitchen. Tom, please, I messed up. I love you. I don't even know why. Because you wanted something exciting, I snapped. Because I'm the boring husband who doesn't get the vibe, right? Her face crumpled. No, because I thought you didn't care anymore. You've been distant, always working, always tired. I was trying to provide for us, I shouted, while you were finding excitement with your coworker. Silence fell between us. Heavy. Final. I'll go, I said finally, voice barely above a whisper. You can stay here until I figure things out. She stepped forward, grabbing my arm. Don't do this. We can fix it. Can we? I looked at her hand on my sleeve, those familiar fingers that once felt like home, and all I could see was his touch on her skin. You broke something I can't put back together. I pulled away. I spent the next few days at my brother's place. Claire called, texted, begged. Each message blurred into the next, apologies, promises, explanations. I didn't reply. On the third night, she sent one final message. I ended things with him. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me. I stared at it for a long time. My thumb hovered over the keyboard, but I didn't know what to say. Hate her? No. That was the worst part. I still loved her. Despite everything, I still wanted the woman I thought she was. But love isn't supposed to hurt like this. A week later, I went back to the house to pick up some things. She was there waiting, pale, tired, wearing my old sweatshirt. Tom, she said softly, can we talk? I hesitated, then nodded. We sat in silence for a while before she spoke. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. I just want you to know it wasn't about him. It was about me. Feeling lost, unseen. I thought if someone else wanted me, maybe I could want myself again. Her words stung because they weren't excuses, they were honest. I see that now, I said quietly. But understanding it doesn't make it hurt less. She nodded, tears falling silently. So what now? I looked around the house, the framed photos, the plants she loved, the faint smell of her perfume still clinging to the air. I don't know, I admitted. But I can't stay where trust is dead. She broke then, sobbing into her hands. I turned away because if I didn't, I'd fall apart too. As I walked out the door, she called after me, voice trembling. Tom, please don't go. I paused at the threshold. The same door I'd walked out of that night when she told me I was ruining the vibe. Only now, the silence behind me wasn't filled with laughter or music. Just regret. I didn't look back. Because sometimes, love doesn't die with betrayal. It just quietly accepts that staying would mean losing yourself. And by morning, when I checked my phone again, there were 47 missed calls. But this time I didn't answer a single one.